And got that recording. Thank you for the heads up. I appreciate it. I love my business partners. So guys, yes, today, again, the summary of today's discussion, we're talking about the digital space and how it's pinnacle that you as a business owner or you as an observer are now at the cusp of something great, okay? And so I'm going to give some background, and then we're going to jump right into some empirical information that you can take, not only just to educate yourselves and get your own investment portfolios in line, but also to be able to share out to your customers and your business partners, friends and family that are wondering, well, why are you in this education? What is so valuable about where you are, and why should I be involved in this? And a couple things as far as Iron Master Academy. As I said, we're the Harvard, the Yale, the Princeton of learning the financial markets, by none. There's a lot of companies, guys, that come and go and that are competing, but we've been in this space now for 8 years. We've been doing online peer-to-peer education and mastering this space for over 8 years. We have approximately over 350,000 students worldwide in over 120 countries. This isn't little stuff right here. This is a global education. This is probably one of the largest universities on the planet. I'd really dare to say that you are a part of. So that's why when we, talk about our monthly subscription, it really is very, very inexpensive for the education and the value that you're getting, okay? So now let's go ahead into what the subject matter is today. We're talking about the digital currency space. We're discussing why this is such a crucial time to be involved and how you can elevate your businesses because of the knowledge that you're obtaining by understanding your product and your space, all right? So please have your notebooks handy. Excuse me there, let me mute this phone. Okay, please make sure you have your notebooks handy. I'm definitely going to drop some stuff for you to take with you, okay? And this is recorded, but I don't want you to depend on the recording. I really want you to be on here paying attention as closely as possible. All right, so first of all, in the headline that we shared in the team app, it is talking about why the financial asset of cryptocurrency as Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, compared to traditional investment vehicles like real estate and other things of that nature, okay? And myself, I've been in the real estate investing area for over 20 years. I've been a property manager. I've been a regional property manager. I've worked for some of the largest companies here in the Atlanta area. I've managed portfolios for some of the wealthiest conglomerates and syndicates and companies from China to Dubai to Israel to Spain to, of course, the United States. So I've worked for these companies, and I've seen how they come to the United States and make very large investment portfolios. Not only that, I've helped in new construction developments. I've helped in expansions of cities, actually, being able to put live, work, and play areas together. And if you don't know what that is, that's basically having like shopping centers with condominiums and work areas around in that space, okay? And so what I really want to bring to point here as we compare these things is that early in the 1900s, okay, this was a time when real
Sean James, you're muted.
You're muted. Man, I've been spitting game here, and you tell me I'm muted? Oh my goodness, Jesus! All right, let's get it back. Did anybody hear anything?
In the 1900s.
Not for like 3 minutes.
Okay.
The 1900s is where you ended.
Look, one of y'all moderators hit the mute. Okay, I got you. Y'all muted me. It's okay. So let's go ahead and get back. So early in the 1900s, how it happened, guys, with real estate and how we got into the whole real estate boom, obviously industrial revolution, all that other stuff is, our great-great-grandparents, they built their homes. Okay, they built their homes. And it wasn't until the Industrial Revolution really came around that people saw that taking homes and reselling them would become a way to become, of course, exceptionally wealthy as far as the individual is concerned. Because land itself, land ownership was very important. So the more land you own, of course, obviously it appreciates you become rich doing that. But we learned as family owners having a family that we could take our family homestead, sell it, and start making a profit. Obviously, that's when the banking industry emerged and all of that, okay? And so why I'm telling you that part, so you know, is that people were educated back then early to say, get a part of the real estate boom then. Okay, be a part of learning how to sell real estate and start making money. All right, and that's because at that time, the industries were very small. So selling stocks and stock investing really had not come to fruition yet. So that's why real estate is one of the oldest things to invest in. Now let's fast forward nearly, 100 years later. Okay, we're now at the point where cryptocurrency is that new real estate. And I want to put, get a little involvement. Please put a 1 in the chat, hit the little chat button down the bottom. If you know nothing about cryptocurrency, you're brand new to cryptocurrency, or maybe you just have a Coinbase account and you're like, okay, what now? All right, I need to understand, what is it? I heard people tell me, but I need to know. That's good, because I want to be able to talk to you today so that when I bring this information, it really makes sense. I got a lot of 1s in there, okay? I'm gonna make it very, very simple. Then we're gonna jump right into the information that Dr. Jewel wanted me to share. So I want you to think about cryptocurrency like this. Imagine you have a grandfather that left you 100 acres of land for you and your family, okay? 100 acres of land. And so in that 100 acres, you were left 20 acres of that land, okay? 20 acres of the 100 acres. But now, you said, okay, I got some land. I don't really intend on living in it, living on the land or developing it. I just have some land. And so you're wondering, how do I make money from this thing? Well, your land then starts to be developed. You have a Starbucks, Walmart, you have different stores around. And now that 100 acres of land starts to appreciate in value. The great thing is, while the 100 acres is going up, your 20 acres is also going up in value. Okay. And so that's the first step right there. When you buy a Bitcoin, think of Bitcoin as the 100 acres, okay? And then if you're able to go ahead and purchase $20, $50, $100, whatever that is, as the entire price of Bitcoin goes up, your little piece of the land starts to go up, and that becomes valuable. This is why it's so crucial to understand this space, because before, if you get a stock in, let's say something like Tesla, I believe it's somewhere, where is it now? Does anybody know? I think we're about $600, $800 a share. All right. For that to be worth it for you, you have to buy several shares. You can't just buy one share and just say, I'm going to get rich. You need to have, 50, 100 shares. And then of course, when that goes up, that makes money for you. And so that's why we talk about stock investing, but you know what? That's really not the most efficient. That's really not for the common person who's the 9-to-5er, who's on a limited income. Okay. That's why cryptocurrency is so crucial to get involved, because you can start with $5 and get a piece every couple of weeks if you want. You can fit it into your budget. All right. So that's the crucial part right there. The next thing that Dr. Jewel Tankard talked about is a Nexo account. And we'll get into that, but I just want you to take this one piece. Nexo account is where you can put your cryptocurrency after it starts to grow, and you could put it somewhere else where you can start gaining interest on that. Okay. So now you're making more money of that. So the same example is, you have the 100 acres that your grandfather had, you have 20 acres, and yes, it's going up in value. So you're saying, wow, my 20 acres is going up. But now we stick an Airbnb on it. Okay, now you stick an Airbnb on it, and now you can rent it out, and now you can make money on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. Okay, that's kind of what putting your money in a Nexo account kind of does for you. So now you have this whole double thing working on, where you're appreciating here and you're also being able to make money here. Okay, so what I want to share with you right now is just from the billionaire here, Michael Saylors, that Dr. Jewel shared with me. I need you to kind of get the empirical information behind it, so now you can understand exactly where you are in the space, so that you can educate your customers and those that are guests on, so you can understand why whoever invited you on this call, you need to get with that person immediately to start building your cryptocurrency portfolio. So let me go ahead and get into that.
Hey, Sean.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I just wanted to say this, guys. Listening to Michael Saylor, if you haven't been used to listening to him, he's an engineer from MIT, and so brainiac. So he can go over your head. We're gonna stop and break it down a little bit, but kind of like Sean said, I really want to make sure you guys understand why being an IM right now is such a God situation. We also have Mike Griff on here, who is heavy in the real estate industry. We'll get a chance to hear from him. And this is going to be great for you guys to go after people who are still kind of, and I'm not saying throw the whole real estate game out, but I'm saying that being over Bitcoin, like Sean said, is definitely like crypto is the new real estate. You want digital property and you want as much as possible. So as we listen to this, I hope you're taking notes, and I hope this helps to build your confidence as you're presenting, because you have a real revelation of really what we have. So, okay, thanks, Sean. Over to Mike.
You know, I think that every company on earth is sitting on a balance sheet that's normally cash and credit. So with a few exceptions, everybody's holding some kind of US dollar or euro or the local fiat currency. And if they want an alternative to that, they're holding low risk debt, sovereign debt. And if they're really risky, they would be holding some other debt. But a lot of times it's sovereign debt. And so that's cash and credit. And the cash and credit are crumbling, right? They've always been crumbling, but now they're crumbling at a faster rate. In good times, they're crumbling at 7% a year. And in bad times, they're crumbling at 10 or 15 or 20% a year. And in horrific times, like if you're in Venezuela, Argentina, Lebanon, it's crumbling at 60 to 80% a year, and that's hyperinflation. So a year ago, we were staring at a balance sheet with $500 million of cash and credit, and it looked like it was almost certainly going to crumble at a rate of 15% a year for 4 years. And that drove us to discover Bitcoin. And then a light bulb went off, and I realized that we could swap out the entire amount for something better. And there are a lot of ways to view Bitcoin, right? You can view Bitcoin as digital property, digital money, or digital energy, you know, and if you characterize it as digital property, it's like I bought a $500 billion block of property in cyberspace. And if you characterize it as digital money, I basically bought $500 million worth of a currency that nobody can print any more of. And if you characterize this digital energy, what we did is took analog energy and we digitized it. And, you know, if you had a megawatt of power and you sold that megawatt of power commercially at 11 cents a kilowatt hour, you'd have about $1 million worth of revenue. And if you took that megawatt of power and you mine Bitcoin with an S19 miner today, you'd have about $4 million of Bitcoin. But the difference is if I'm holding a megawatt of power as electrical energy, electricity, I'm going to lose 2%. How do you put it in a battery? Find me a battery that holds a megawatt of power. First of all, if you found one, it's got a 2% bleed rate a month or more. So you're going to lose 24% of your power in a year. The half-life of the power is at best 3 years. And if you move it, you have to move it on a power line. You can't move it more than 500 miles. You lose 6% of your energy at the end of the line every time you move it. So your transaction fee is high if you move it, and your inflation rate is high if you hold it. And on the other hand, if you convert it to digital energy, you could hold it on the network forever for no power loss. Someone just moved $2 billion of Bitcoin at 78 cents, right? You guys saw that? So you could move it from here to Tokyo across a satellite connection for 78 cents. So again, no cost to move it, no cost to hold it, no constraints on the storing of it. The half-life is forever. So when I look at Bitcoin, I think, let's just convert the balance sheet from analog money to digital money, or from something that's a depreciating asset to an appreciating asset. We did that, and we took the first bite at the apple August of last year, and then we did a Dutch auction to get permission, in essence, from our shareholders to reinvest the rest. And by the time we finished that, we had, in essence, we had bought back about $70 million worth of stock, 60 or 70, I forget. And we had invested $425 million in Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin did what it's supposed to do, which is appreciated. And from that point, our stock started appreciating, Bitcoin started appreciating. And we had the ability to raise more money through business operations. We generated cash flow. we sold equity, we sold debt, we sold convertible debt, and we continue to build to our Bitcoin position because what we realized is we can and we should have two strategies. One strategy is run the software business, and the other strategy is run a property business. We're in essence running a cyber development company or a cyber REIT, if you want. Like, if I tell you there's 21 million blocks in cyberspace and each one's a Bitcoin, and the world's going to consist of 21 million blocks, and you showed up there 200 years before everybody else showed up, you would think, I'm just going to start buying city blocks in cyberspace as fast as I can. So we bought ourselves some. And then
okay, guys, I'm going to fast forward just a tad bit because what I really want you to hear is he's going to compare cryptocurrency to actual property and why it's something to look at. So let me go right here to about 10 minutes.
And then we realized that it was a high quality property. I think the epiphany comes when you realize that it's the dominant digital property network, and digital property is better than physical property in every way conceivable. So if I theoretically designed digital property, I want to store $1 billion. I want to hold it in the palm of my hand, move it at the speed of light, vibrate it 1 million times a second. I want it to last forever. I want immortal, indestructible, infinite, all-powerful, programmable energy, right? Matter is energy. Energy is matter. I can convert energy. I could take $1 billion and turn it into a building. I could, in theory, turn a building back into $1 billion. I can buy $1 billion worth of electricity. I could buy $1 billion worth of guns, whatever it is you want to do, right? That, money is ultimately monetary energy, and you can convert it into any kind of product or service or property. It's the apex. Once you realize that Bitcoin is digital property or digital money or digital energy, all of these things, then it becomes clear that everything else you could possibly own is inferior to that, right? You would really never want to own anything other than pure digital energy, right? Like, why do you want to own a building, right? The only reason you want to own a building is you are going to freeze to death if you didn't have somebody to come in from the cold too, right? Like, you would own a building to live in because otherwise you're going to freeze to death.
That's a whole word. That is a whole word. Y'all better catch this as real estate investors, especially if people think they want to do all this stuff in real estate. Randy is on another king of crypto. I want him to weigh in on this. And then, guys, I'm at the airport about to fly to DC. But then I want Mike, who's also in real estate heavy, I want you to come in and weigh in on this. And this is really going to help us think. So when you're presenting, we don't have to present just off of a PowerPoint. Like, we're presenting off of real revelation of what we have here. So Randy, over to you, brother.
What's up? Good morning, Dr. Jewel. What's going on, everybody? Man, I don't know about you guys. I get fired up talking about cryptocurrency. And listen to Michael Saylor. Yeah, he's far beyond his years with cryptocurrency. But what he's saying, when you look at the balance sheet, for him to be able to see the future, his balance sheet, like he said on the call, his dollars were going to be depreciated. They weren't going to have basically. There we go, back. So he needed a way to ensure that his bottom line was going to go up. He was going to make profit. So he replaced literally the cash on reserve, which just means in his savings account. So you got money sitting in your savings account right now that's not making you money. As a matter of fact, you're losing money every day that it sits there, okay? And then when they approve the ceiling, when they get the ceiling, whether it's 2 trillion or 3.5 trillion, understand it's never what it seems to be, okay? So when they approve the ceiling of 3.5 trillion, that really means 300 trillion, by the way. Okay, so what Michael Saylor understands is economically, the dollar is going to depreciate. So I need to get into a vehicle that's better than real estate because it's liquid. I've been in the real estate game for some time, and we were fortunate due to cover. We had cash in all of our real estate. I converted everything to cryptocurrency, and that brought me way bigger than return than what it would have bought me just keeping it inside of real estate. And so the power behind cryptocurrency, and you guys know we started doing the banking thing, is that we really get to treat this thing like real estate. And if you don't know, for me, I felt that real estate there's a barrier of entry. And sometimes you may be very good at real estate, but because maybe you don't have the access or the pull, you can't get a lot of capital to go do what you know how to do. Me and Wanda, we understood real estate and how to do it very well, but guess what? We were capped on the capital we can go grab from the large institutions. So now cryptocurrency is allowing you to do that, and it's way faster. Listen, over the past it's been 12 years now in Bitcoin. Bitcoin went from $1 to 66,000. Y'all realize the Dow Jones was created in 1896, and it's only at 35,000, okay? Bitcoin, okay, a tenth of its existence has already doubled in its size in such a short amount of time. So I need you to see that vision. First of all, you need to accumulate a Bitcoin. And I'll tell you, Charlie Lee, he's the developer of Litecoin. He says this. Okay, I'm good friends with John Kim. He's the ambassador there. He says, before you do anything, get one Bitcoin. Why? Because of its scarcity. This is what makes it a sound investment, sound money. Because there's only 21 million, and there's way more millionaires than there is Bitcoins. At some point, obviously, we see the way that gold is. People are going to catch on that Bitcoin is the new age gold, in which that's what Michael Saylor basically is holding on his reserve sheet. It's the new age gold. And when people realize the new age gold, okay, it's going to be easy. Some of you don't see it yet, but you're going to see a $500,000 Bitcoin. You're going to see $1 million Bitcoin at some point. And just owning one can change the whole trajectory of your family's path right now. And, you know, I know we're going to talk about the banking part with Nexo or Celsius. Listen, most of the time in our community, let's talk about it. People say, I can't invest because of what? I don't have money. Now today we get to flip that, and they can, because here's the truth. The average median income is 35,000 right now a year, median income. If you were to do the math, that means 35 years. If they work for 30 years, we know they can't put 35,000 their whole income away. That's $1 million, y'all. 30 years of working for 35,000 years, 1 million. So you need 1 million to retire. So majority of the world is not going to retire. So how are they going to put money away? Well, we have banking. They can now put the money away and borrow against it when they need it. So when the end of the year comes, if they were only making 35,000, maybe they're living off majority of their income, so they only can do 10. So they're going to put 10,000 away per year, use half of it. Now, one good bull run changes their whole life around, because what? They put 10 grand away, a good bull run, they got 40. They would never have been able to save up $40,000, y'all. And if we can convey this message right here, we got to make the conversation simple. Listen, okay, there's no guarantees in anything, but Bitcoin has went only in one direction, up, okay? The dollar has went only in one direction since 1913, called a Federal Reserve note. It's went down, okay? Everyone knows that, and if they don't know that, that's what we educate them on. And so we hold Bitcoin because we know that our government is going to continually print dollars. They show us, you can go to usdebtclock.org. There's going to be trillions that are constantly printed. You're almost, okay, I hate to say the word guarantee. We don't guarantee anything, but Bitcoin has been going up for the past 12 years, and Bitcoin is going up right now. So imagine if you were able to just put money away, and when you need it, you use it. But you back your dollars with Bitcoin. And here's the best part. We don't even have to just back our dollars with Bitcoin. When Bitcoin goes up to a high, we're going to show you a strategy. When Bitcoin goes to its high, what do we back our dollar with now? Well, there's something that's running counter to Bitcoin. Then we start investing in that asset. But the great part is we get smart in this field of cryptocurrency, and we get to back our dollars with whatever digital asset we want to back it with. Okay, you are in the wealth arena. If it feels unreal, okay, that's because it's probably unreal to you right now, but you're in the wealth flow right now. So thank you, Dr. Jewel. Man, Michael Saylor said it all. Okay.
Appreciate that, brother. Thank you. I definitely want to get Michael on and stuff. But again, just real quick before I bring him on, just understand, guys, that if you're new and you're not totally understanding, it's okay. The biggest thing is we're going to walk you through the steps on how to go ahead and do that. But this has to be paramount. Instead of worrying about Christmas gifts and whether they're going to get here on time, you need to go ahead and start getting your Coinbase account, getting your Kraken account, going whatever exchange, get with the person that that you're linked with or that you heard this information from, and start. And we're going to hold you by the hand and walk you through that process. Brother Mike, let's go ahead and get you in here so you can drop your knowledge.
Hey, thanks so much. I think the biggest thing is you really have to get the revelation of what is actually happening. And a lot of times people don't talk about the beauty of the Bitcoin is the blockchain. Now, why is the blockchain so important? Because the blockchain cuts out manipulation. It cuts out dishonesty. It cuts out the thievery of like real estate, where people can fraudulently write a deed and take your property unbeknown to you. Matter of fact, give you an example. My wife and I, we were just in South Carolina, and I was watching a commercial on the TV, and the commercial was an insurance company. The insurance company was selling policies against theft of your real estate deed. And I thought this was like paramount. I mean, why would somebody need that, right? Because of what I just said. You can't steal someone's ownership of Bitcoin because of the blockchain. Everything is recorded. Now let's talk about comparing real estate to crypto, Bitcoin. All right. So I just made a little list here of the cons of real estate. First of all, you got liability. Now I remember back several years ago, before 2008. By the way, I was $1 million. I had owned $1 million worth of real estate before 2008. Okay. And one of my tenants actually sued me because her children ate the paint off the windowsill. Luckily, I had insurance. But the point of the matter is, now I have to protect myself with insurance against liability such as that. You don't have that in cryptocurrency. Okay. Also, when I had a whole bunch of real estate, I had Section 8 tenants, right? People always say, you know, public housing, if the government's paying for rent, you're good. Well, guess what? Some people don't know how to live and maintain a house. You deal with what is called hard living. So now, every time my tenant moves out, I got to go back in there and fix it up again. There's no maintenance with cryptocurrency. Guess what? Every year I own my real estate, I have to pay property tax. There's no property tax that you have to pay with crypto. Okay. And I also had to pay a insurance policy to protect against people, trying to sue me. And then depending on where you are, if you got to get a loan to buy the real estate, depending on what your financial situation is, if I was someone like Dr. Jewel and I had money, I was just talking to Jewel about this a second ago before we got on the call. My attorney called me about a property winning foreclosures, about $750,000. The guy only wants $200,000, right? Sounds like a great deal. I go over and look at the house. The house is flooded. It's mold throughout the house. It's all outdated. Overgrowth on the lot, but it sits on a pond in Bloomfield. Now, why would I go to Jewel and say, hey, Jewel, you want to do a deal? Put up 200, we split the profit. That doesn't make sense. I gotta fix the property. I gotta wait for that to happen. The weather's about to change. It don't matter if it's snowing, winter or fall. With crypto, it's growing anyway. All right. So that doesn't even make sense for Jewel or anybody with the money to put it in there, because there's a somewhat of a short but long-term investment to get your money out. Then you got to pay the real estate person, to list the property. And the expenses go on and on and on. So, it all depends on where you are. Don't get me wrong. We got to live somewhere. But crypto is where it is. And when you stop for a moment, get the revelation of what is happening, there is a shift. I mean, you really have to be blind not to be able to see there is a shift. Just like the taxi car company, just like Netflix and Blockbuster, the cell phone. Pay attention, guys. All you have to do is pay attention. When the government's talking about printing money, that means inflation is on the way. You have to grow your portfolio higher than the speed of inflation if you want to win. I'm in the winning business. Guess what? I'm expanding my crypto portfolio. I've just about liquidated all of my real estate because right now it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. They're projecting Bitcoin to go almost up to 200,000 by March next year. Can you imagine? And listen, I'm gonna give you one little short story. This is how I met Jewel. Jewel is a member of my ministry. She told me when I first met her, whatever you do, don't sell your Bitcoin. Foolish me, I had no idea. I wasn't part of the academy. I wasn't smart enough to listen to the Holy Spirit. I just thought maybe she don't know what she's talking about, right? She had the inside scoop. The academy is the inside scoop, okay? I put 10,000 on Bitcoin when it was 11,000, okay? 11,000, it's at 67 now. I had 10,000 on it. Jill said, whatever you do, don't sell your Bitcoin. I said, okay, Jill, I'm not gonna sell it. My wife says, Bitcoin is up at 10,000. When I put my 10,000 in, it went down. I had to hold it for a year, okay? But by this time, Jill is saying, don't sell it. It went to 10. It went to 11. It went to 11.5. My wife said, if I was you, I'd get the money. Now, I can't blame it on my wife because I make my own decisions, right? But she sold that seed of fear, but I didn't know. I didn't have access to the academy. So what happened? I pulled my money out. Now, Bitcoin's at 67. That 10,000 would have been what? 6x. 60,000 off a $10,000 investment? Where can you do that? Nowhere. Hey, listen, if you don't understand, you gotta stay close to the fire. You have to get plugged in. Now, if it's foreign to you, keep listening and listening, because here faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing, and eventually it will click. Get the revelation, because God is moving in this space, and I'm telling you, I will not miss this train this time. You don't miss it either. That's my time.
Now that's my brother Mike right there. That's some big money, Mike. So good. I'm gonna share a couple little tips here because this is a learning call also for all our CEOs. Again, thank you, Randy, so much. I appreciate you. Definitely, Mike, appreciate you. Dr. Jewel, I appreciate you having me on. So, all right. So what do we do from here? Okay. Again, let's make a comment. If you're taking notes, there's some columns here I need you to know. If you guys are hearing these nuggets, I need you to catch this. Who are some of the people that you can talk about this space to? Real estate investors. Okay, real estate investors, people in the real estate field, people who invest, period, because they understand this space. They're always going to be looking for other alternatives that outgrow different parts of their portfolio. Another thing is an investor, what a portfolio is, guys, is not just one asset. It's going to be a segment of different assets. And I truly believe you need to have real estate in part of your portfolio. You need to have something like maybe gold or silver. You need to have something like oil. You need to have something like that. But a bigger part now with a lot of millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires is their crypto pie is starting to expand. It's starting to expand. Pay attention to that. All right. So now here's some of the pros and cons. Number one, Mike just outlined it. Randy outlined it. The overhead, maintenance and overhead is more costly in real estate than it is with Bitcoin. Now, there are things like little gas fees and stuff, but I promise you it's nothing as big as it is for real estate. The liability, that's number two. People can fall, people can get injured. You can have a flood, you can have a fire, you can have all these things that I've had to deal with. I've had a rain where a roof fell in and barely missed a baby, and we're having to settle out an account. You see what I'm saying? That you have that type of thing. Guess what? You have something called eminent domain. Do you understand that even though you own a property, that if the government deems that they need that area to develop or put a road, that they can actually come and seize your property? Okay, we have a cousin called the IRS. Do you know that the IRS is going to go ahead and clock your money too? And they have a part of that too. So there's other things that's with there. Now, Bitcoin on that side is low skill set. We don't talk about that, but you can have a low skill set of getting involved. Okay, you don't have to understand every piece of how blockchain works. You just need to understand that that's an area that you need to start building your portfolio in. There are plenty of very successful people that don't really understand how Bitcoin works, but they're heavily invested in that because they understand the future vision of where it is going. Okay, so we have low skill set, where in real estate you're going to have to get, you know, a good skill set going on. I'm sure, like me, Randy, and Mike, we've learned, in some instances we learned okay, and some we learned the hard way. I've lost some money on some deals. I've lost some earnest money on some stuff. I paid for inspections and the property was a dud, you know? And so the skill set is very low because you can get started and you just need to hold it and then follow the academy, and they're going to go ahead and guide you along the way. Okay. And then of course, the maneuverability of it. All right. You can maneuver your cryptocurrency anywhere around the world. If you move, let's say some of you, and I know I've had conversations with a lot of you that want places overseas. Some of you want to move overseas. And so you got property here. It's not that easy to say, I'm going to pick up and move my property over there. But guess what? You can get a nano ledger. You can go ahead and move $1 billion worth of cryptocurrency and put it in your pocket and move it around the world. See, so that's very, very important too. And that's something that Michael Saylor talks about, is fungible and non-fungible. And if you don't know what those terms mean, basically it's interchangeable and non-interchangeable. See, property is pretty much non-interchangeable and stuff. You may own a large apartment complex and somebody may want a townhouse. Well, those really don't exchange. Okay, you have to find somebody that wants that particular property. But with Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, the whole world is your marketplace. So being able to exchange that with somebody is very, very quick and easy. And that's a great plus. You want something. That's like having the hottest product that everybody wants, and you can just throw it out there and people will pick it up. Okay, so these are some of the pros and cons of what you want to write down when you are speaking to somebody. Now, how do we get started? How do we get started? Sean, I'm new. I just got on here. I'm just checking this stuff out. First of all, you have to connect with the academy. You have to connect with the academy. If you were getting real estate, guess what? You take a real estate course. You either take an investment course or you be a real estate agent. Let's not lie. You would do one of those two things, or you'd be mentored by somebody. Okay. So here you're getting all the mentorship, you're getting all the classes, you're getting everything that you need to build a very smart and strong portfolio, because it's not just getting Coinbase and then say, I got it. You have to protect it. You have to get the right wallet, like an Access wallet. You got to get a ledger for it. You need to go ahead and keep your keys somewhere. I saw, I think one of our teachers was talking about a water, a waterless, or not, see, can't get wet. You can write your secret codes and phrases, and it doesn't, you know, it's fireproof, it's waterproof. See, I wouldn't know that, you see, unless you're in the academy. So the first thing is you got to sign up in the academy. Okay, you do that. Number two, follow whoever is in the academy and start putting these pieces in place. In the next 30 days, you can go ahead. Thank you for that. Yep, Stonebook. So in the next 30 days, you can totally start to change your financial picture there. Okay, and so very, very important. And then what I want you to do is you have to be disciplined in this area. You really do. You have to be disciplined to get the information. You have to be disciplined to start putting your money away. And a lot of us, we liquidated some of our real estate to put over here. We liquidated some of the slow performing stocks that haven't moved in 10 years, where you're getting low yields, and we're putting it over here. So now you can not only grow it in our wallets, but we're also going in our Nexo account, so we can get daily, weekly, monthly interest on there. Okay, so these are some of the steps right here. All right, so with that being said, let's see, anybody, we have any other knowledge to drop? Because I want to make sure we're getting all these good nuggets in this recording here.
Hey, real quick, so Carol just reminded me that Mike and Curtis are doing another training tonight. So I want to make sure everybody knows that. And then also, did Mike kind of chime in on the real estate part? And Carol, are you wanting to talk about what Mike Sotero and Curtis Cobain are doing tonight?
Yeah, who now? Who
Good
is that,
morning.
Dr.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Good morning. It's Carol Diggs. Good morning, everyone. Actually, it's tomorrow night on Curtis's class that he does. He does Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's on his class Friday night and go live. And he and DeFi Mike have been on Monday and again last night, and they'll be on together again on tomorrow night. And so Kurt wants to have 5,000 students on the Go Live call. So I thought that we could all get on that call, jump on, and there'll be some giveaways, but there's going to be tons of knowledge. And if anyone has not been following this week, please do try and go back and review Monday and Wednesday's calls. They've been great. Lots of nuggets, lots of information. You know, Kurt does his thing, Mike does his thing, and now the two are together. It's powerful.
Awesome. Thank you, Carol. I greatly appreciate that. Guys, for our guests and people who are new in I Am Master Academy, remember our I Am United conference that's coming up, our awesome conference, our company conference that we have not had now over 2 years, now bringing it back and getting the best of the best. We're going to be talking about this stuff. You're going to have educators. You got to be there that Thursday, because in the itinerary, you're going to be learning about this stuff. So it's imperative that you get your ticket and go ahead and attend there, okay? Very, very imperative that you do that, okay? And so with that being said, does any other chairman have anything?
So Mike, did Mike get on and share kind of his perspective being in real estate?
He
working
did.
on selling? He did. Okay,
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now everybody needs to be, you know, those of you guys that have been in, you need to be hitting your contact manager and getting people reactivated. I spent 2 days in Orlando, Monday and Tuesday, working with large groups, getting them back activated in the academy. It was amazing. And now I'm at the airport headed to DC. So my point is what we have, everybody needs, whether they realize it or not, they need it. And so there's no reason why anybody should not be experiencing some real growth right now with reactivations alone. And then for those of you who are brand new, you should be bringing on people, you know, use us to do 3-ways. Like there's our business, we're like at the pinnacle of this thing. We couldn't be at a better place, guys. We really could not. I mean, we're ahead of even credit. You know, people are like, oh yeah, I own a credit company. God bless you if you do, but it's about to be obsolete. Like the whole game is being changed. And for once in our lives, we're like getting step-by-step information on, you know, on how this game is being played. And so I just don't want us to sleep or be sluggish about this. This is huge. So that's all I have. Sean, great job today. Randy, thank you. Mike, thank you. Carol, thank you. It is definitely a team effort. I appreciate all you guys. And I'll turn it over to you and let you close this out.
Thank you, Dr. Jewel. I greatly appreciate being able to host the call. And for those of you, again, I'm going to go ahead and put this up for our I Am United. Make sure, again, you get back with the person who invited you on the call or mentioned the call. You can get with me or whomever and go ahead and get your tickets. You definitely don't want to miss this. It's going to be in Houston, Texas. This is going to be just a premier event right here. You'll go to iamacademy.events. Get your ticket today. Get it in reserve. It's going fast and you definitely want to be there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. And again, to everyone who helped co-host and also the people that help assist me on admitting people, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate Montrese, Leona Clark. Have an awesome day.
Thanks, Sean. Anytime.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean.
Great call.
Thanks, Sean. Great call, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you,
Awesome
Sean.
call. Thank you.
Thank